The movie's title, Past Lives, is a Korean word for past lives. The director said that he wanted to talk about kinship, not past lives, because there is no word for kinship in English. I think he used the closest English word he could find, but I don't think he was able to capture the nuances. Ties and past lives are similar, but it's hard for Koreans to accept. We say that even if you touch your lapel, you're related. Past lives have a stronger sense of connection from the past to the present. In Korea, there are short relationships and deep relationships. As soon as the movie starts, there are three people: Yoo Tae-oh, who plays Hae-sung, and Greta Lee, who plays Nora, are talking to each other, and John Magaro, who plays Arthur, is sitting next to them. The unidentified person asks what the relationship is between the three of them. Hae-sung and Nora, who looks Asian, are lovers, and Nora is sitting in the middle. So it's like she's a lover, and Arthur, who's sitting next to her, is a lover, and it's 400 in the morning, so they don't know each other, and Arthur, who's a white guy, is sitting there kind of stiffly. We start like this, and then we jump forward 24 years. Nora and Hae-sung are in elementary school, and the director of Last Lives has become unexpectedly famous. He's the director of Number 3, which is one of the legendary movies in Korea. His daughter Nora is the director's debut film, and it's won awards at various film festivals. And it's getting attention from the Academy. It's said that the movie is partly an autobiographical story of the director. So Nora, who was an elementary school student, goes to Canada to study abroad with her father as a director. At that time, Hae-sung was very close to Nora and even talked about getting married, even though they were still children. Nora's mom makes them go out on a date to preserve the memories. Hae-sung doesn't know about this and is disappointed that he found out the day before he emigrated, and seems to resent Nora for it. 12 years later, Nora looks him up on social media, and he's already made several posts on social media trying to find her. They connect, and they have a video call, catching up and reuniting. Nora had forgotten about her, but Hae-sung had been looking for her ever since. It's a little awkward at first, but they quickly hit it off. It's weird how childhood friends can become adult friends so quickly. Hae-sung is in Seoul, South Korea, and Nora is in New York City. Despite the time difference, when it's daytime for one of them, it's nighttime for the other, they video call each other every day and grow closer. Unlike Hae-sung, who is still a student, Nora is different. In the middle of the video, we cut to Hae-sung's military career. Perhaps it was to show that even though they are the same age, they are in different situations when they meet each other. Unlike Hae-sung, who is still a student, Nora came to New York from Canada for a reason. She's an outsider here, even though she immigrated when she was younger. I jokingly said to her when I was younger that, if you want to win the Nobel Prize in Literature, you have to write in English. She's at a point in her career where she has to work hard to make it here. At this point, meeting Hae-sung is great, but he's gotten too deep into her life. And it's gradually getting to the point where she has to go to Seoul or he has to come to New York. She doesn't want to give up her dreams, and he's still a student. So he's not thinking too deeply about it, he's just enjoying being with her. She tells him that she's done here, or more precisely, that she's not going to contact him for a while. Then she meets a white guy and they get married. Another 12 years later, they run into each other. It's a 12-year cycle, and it's like 12 years on purpose. Nora is married and with a husband she loves, and Hae-sung has broken up with the woman he's been dating. What does it mean for them to meet in this situation? It's not just an elementary school reunion. This is the difference between Korea and the West. Hae-sung has broken up with his current girlfriend and goes to meet Nora. Nora meets Hae-sung even though she has a husband. Arthur, Nora's husband, is cool with it. In fact, he asks her if it was good to see her and asks her quite deeply. And she's pretty much honest about her feelings. There's even a first scene where Nora is in the center, and Hae-sung and Arthur are on the left and right, where Arthur is American but a stranger. Nora and Hae-sung speak in Korean. Arthur can't understand a single word, and Nora even turns her back and looks at Haesung as they talk. There's a certain amount of affection in the way they look at each other as they talk, which could be mistaken by someone else. There's no physical contact between them, but it feels like it. Arthur, her husband, is right next to her. When Nora is gone for a while, Haesung and Arthur talk. They can't communicate with each other, but there's no hostility. In their conversation, they talk about their past lives. And it seems like they met in a previous life, but they didn't connect in this life. I would say they're not connected now. They're both only in their 30s, so who knows what's going to happen in the future. Yu Tao was nominated for a British Academy Award for Best Actor. The way he looks at Nora when he's talking to her in the presence of her husband, and the way he looks at her without saying a word when they finally part. I think that's why he was nominated, because it shows the heart that Haesung has. In fact, in the final scene, they look at each other, and they both look at each other without saying anything. They stare at each other for over a minute and there's no touching, but there's a lot of sexual tension. After they break up, we see Nora run up to Arthur, who's waiting at the door, and hug him and cry. It's a strange feeling. Relationships are never something you can force. They come and go without your will, and that's how relationships feel in Korea. At least I think it was good that Haesung went all the way to New York to meet Nora. It's probably easier for Haesung than anything else.